If you're a fan of House of the Dragon and you've watched season 1, then you know it's kind of a quaint drama show when it really comes down to it. The action is sort of an accent on the story rather than a focus, which is amazing because, well, the writers did a great job. I mean, they made an old man walking down a hallway a really exciting scene.
King Lucerys of House Targaryan, the first of his name.
I mean, we love a good Viserys redemption arc. However, we also do love our dragons. I mean, it's in the title, right? And arguably the best dragon scene we've ever seen in Game of Thrones, in House of the Dragon, came in the form of Season 1, Episode 10's final scene. You all know the scene I'm talking about. So what we're going to do today is we're going to watch that, react to it, maybe break it down, give some insight, or just, you know, see how it makes us feel. Now, this is not a first-time Raw pretending to reaction. This is a real... I've watched this several times before, and we're going to do it again, reaction. Okay, so let's do it right now. Let's watch this shit. Excuse my language. House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 10, The Scene. Let's watch this. So here we're following Lucerys to the Storm's End, where the Baratheons are residing. I love this. It's like a giant dildo into the sky. It's like an FU to the... It's like a middle finger to the gods. You know, the Baratheons are a bold bunch, to say the least. I mean, King Robert, that says it all, right? But this is before that time, right? This is not during the King Robert era. Now, I really like, I love the camera work with this. And the dragons look more real than they've ever looked. And honestly, the drip, we have to go back and rate the drip. Look at the drip. Lucerys' drip is, oh, man, that's all I'm going to say. Lucerys he's got the best drip in the show. Hands down. Well, maybe not. Daemon's pretty fire. And we got One-Eye Aemond with a blue sapphire. We'll see that in a sec. There's a lot of drip going on in this show. Okay, so right off the bat, we could look at Lucerys' face and we can just tell he's got a bad feeling about this, you know, sort of Han Solo style. I do love how we actually have dragon saddles in this show. You know, in the old Game of Thrones, she was going bareback. She was going raw, young Dany. But they have like, they almost have like speeder bike handles, like from Star Wars. It's funny. But look, yes, the drip. Look, we got a better look at the drip. We have a better look at the drip. Cape. You have to have a cape when you're riding a dragon. It's just absolutely necessary. If you don't, you're not riding a dragon. And this dragon is like one of the smaller dragons. This dragon is called Arax. Arax is one of the smaller dragons. He's like a little baby dragon compared to what we're about to see. Okay, watch this. We got some Skyrim guards out here, some NPCs. They don't even bat an eye. These guys are used to big Vhagar coming through, so they don't, you know, they don't care. Luke just looks like a prince, man. I feel bad for him, for what's going to happen. This shot right here. Ready? Holy mother of Godzilla. Dude. Vhagar. Mama Vhagar. Grandma Vhagar is looking okay, Vhagar's head is the same size as Arax. Just get that into perspective, okay? Look at the gullet here. She can swallow Arax whole and keep her in her mouth. That's just huge. I was scared shitless when I first watched this. I was like, oh my... Oh. I felt bad for Luke, really. Lucerys.
I'm Prince Lucerys Velaryon. I bring a message to Lord Boris from the Queen.
He's confident, though. He's got trepidation, but at least he's confident, right? We love a young, confident king. Cinematography is just golden in this show, too. You know, you can't, you can't really critique that. We have Aemond One-Eye over here, and we have the 3 daughters of Lord Baratheon here. Boros Baratheon and his 3 daughters. One of them is promised to Aemond here. Aemond came here to make a political alliance with Boros by securing the familial ties via marriage. Maybe this is the daughter he's marrying. That's a pretty small detail that we don't really need to know yet. But look at the drip here. He's got like a Captain Jack Sparrow vibe. Guys, in the comments, tell me who has the better drip. I'm going to say it's Lucerys. But you can't deny, we're gonna see something crazy with his eye patch in a sec. His stance, though, is... Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. He's got a better stance, and he just... Dude, you don't have a chance, Luke, against this dude. Are you kidding me? This is a comic book anime villain, and you're like a Disney kid versus this guy, right? Like, you don't have a chance. But let's listen to what Baratheon is saying here.
Son of Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen.
He's so robotic. Son of Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Lord Boros.
Dude, Lord Boros is just giving the 1,000-yard stare.
I brought you a message from my mother.
Look at the
Queen.
sets.
Yet earlier this day, I received an envoy from the king. Which
Yeah, he beat Lucerys to the punch. So, sorry, Luke, you're a little late.
is it? King or queen? The House of the Dragon does not seem to know who rules it.
He said the title. Guys, he said the title of the show. He says the House of the Dragon doesn't seem to know who rules it. You know, we're at our full divide now.
What's your mother's message?
This is funny. Watch this. He brings him the scroll. They have a stare down. And Boros here is, well, he can't read. So he's going to have to hand this off to his maester. Now, the maesters in the books have possibly been known to falsify the reports or maybe skew the reports from messages, from scrolls, because a lot of the lords do not learn how to read. They just defer that to their maesters, and they never learn. Even though they're at the top of the food chain, they can't read their own messages. It's hilarious.
Where's the bloody maester?
He's like, shit, I'll get the maester. You know there's a message coming. Apparently, they're all in this council scene. I don't know if they were doing something important, like maybe discussing the terms of marriage right when Luke came in. It's pretty convenient, but I'll give it a pass because this show's really cool. So smug. It literally is a Disney kid versus an anime villain. That's what this is. Sweet sword. Here comes the maester. So he's got a delay on his messages. It's almost like a comedy. It's almost like a parody. You know, like a king opens the scroll and he's like, "What the hell does this say? Somebody grab the goddamn maester." Like it could have almost come off as comedic. This guy could totally lie to him. But if he has anybody else corroborate it, this dude's neck is on the line, right? So it is a risky move to lie about what's going on in these messages, if you know, unless you're the sole corroborator. I read that pretty fast. I would be so nervous. I would feel exactly as he feels in this situation. You got a bunch of guards around you. Yeah, you know Vhagar is out there. Yeah, Aemond staring you down. You took his eye, and you know he wants blood, or he wants something. He wants an eye for an eye, literally. And you know you got Boros who's just staring you down. Everybody's staring you down in this room, and you're just the lone prince here.
Remind me of my father's oath. King Aegon at least came with an offer. My swords and banners for a marriage pact. If I do as your mother bids, which one of my daughters will you wed?
Aemon was choosing a daughter, and he's got other daughters that could, you know, tie the two families together, the Targaryens and the Baratheons. But the thing is, Luke is already promised to wed one of the Valerians. So, you know, he doesn't really have an open hand to play. He just came here with a message saying, like, you know, bend the knee and you know, retain your vows to Rhaenyra, but he didn't offer anything in return. And that's the big mistake that I think, you know, was made with Rhaenyra. She promised both of her sons to wed Valerians. So she kind of wasted both of her, you know, tickets there. She's out of loyalty cards, and yet she still sends Luke to negotiate for his loyalty. But it's not really a negotiation. It's just a, hey, keep being loyal. We have nothing to offer you. It's kind of a rude thing to ask when the other side is giving you a marriage pact. You know, Aemond is actually delivering something in order to justify their loyalty. Luke's just there to give a message and show his dragon, but Vhagar showed up first and went up to you. So sorry that it didn't work out for you.
My lord, I am not free to marry.
See?
So you come with empty hands.
Aemond knows it too. He's like, you you messed up, brother. Like he's just laughing in his own head this whole time because he knows Luke has no leverage. He knows Luke has nothing to walk away with and nothing to bring to the table.
Go home, pup. And tell your mother that the Lord of Storm's End is not some dog that she can whistle up at need to set against her foes.
Yeah, he's not having it.
I shall take your answer to the Queen, my lord.
Good guy, Luke. At least Luke has conviction with what he's, with how he speaks and carries himself. Despite being so nervous, he still sounds like a prince.
Wait,
We haven't fought yet.
my Lord Strong.
Lord Strong. You hear that? You catch that? A lot of people will miss that little detail. He says, "My Lord Strong." So if you know, he's a bastard, right? He was the bastard child of Harwin Strong and Rhaenyra. So every chance that Aemond gets, he digs at him and he calls him. He literally calls him a strong boy. He calls him Lord Strong. He doesn't call him my Lord Targaryen because Aemond believes that he doesn't deserve that title since he's a bastard. But it's not Luke's fault. It's not Luke's fault. He's a dragon rider, though, so he is a Targaryen. If you can ride a dragon and command a dragon, even if you're a bastard, it still proves that you are a Targaryen, but not by a legal means. He's an illegal Targaryen.
Did you really think that you could just fly about the realm, trying to steal my brother's throne at no cost?
The stance. Oh, my. It's just so funny.
I will not fight you. I came as a messenger, not a warrior.
Fight would be little challenge.
Disney kid, anime villain.
No. I want you to put out your eye.
Look at that. I mean, look, if you said I would get one of these, maybe I'd let you do it. If I could get the drip like this, he's got a blue sapphire eye. Now that is something to behold. Luke, you could get some extra drip if you allow Aemond to take your eye out. But I don't know if he has any spare sapphires. Maybe you could go for a ruby. Actually, it would match. That would match. A ruby? I want to Photoshop and change the color. Let's see what that would look like. Maybe we could put this eye on Luke somehow.
It's payment for mine. One will serve.
He's got a dagger and a sword. Love it.
I would not blind you.
He wants to make him do
I
it.
plan to make a gift of it to my mother.
He wants to make him do it himself. This is like I'm saying, he's an anime villain. And Boros is like, hold the phone here. We're not making a little boy take his eye out in my chambers, in my hall. This is not the grounds for this kind of activity.
No.
Then you are craven as well as a traitor.
Not here.
Give me your eye, or I will take it, boss.
Not in my hall!
Good guy Boros, because if Boros didn't do this, he would be responsible even further for escalating the conflict. And, when that's not your role in the kingdom, you really have to be careful politically of what you allow to happen underneath your roof. He doesn't want to be facilitating violence under his roof. He kind of wants to play it cool. So smart guy Boros, good guy Boros, but he didn't hold back our anime villain here enough, as we'll see soon.
The boy came as an envoy. I'll not have blood shed beneath my roof. Take Prince Lucerys back to his dragon. Now.
That eye is so sick. I would just keep it out all the time. It's intimidating. Maybe it falls out. Nice move. Let's go back and watch that little move. I like that little move. So Disney kid puts his sword away. Classic style, no flair. He doesn't need flair. He's already got all the drip he can handle. But look at Aemond. Nobody's watching him, and he still has the need to. I mean, the audience is watching, but he's just that guy, pal. Oh boy, here we go. I think I would probably want a smaller dragon so it can be more like a pet. I love the Valerian language. They did a really good job with it. It truly sounds like something that we've never heard before, while still feeling like a real language. Like I could feel like this is an ancient language that existed. So they did a really good job with crafting that, and it was mostly crafted for the screen because I believe they didn't have too much of a fully crafted language with the books. It wasn't until the show that they fully fleshed out the Valerian language, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you notice they speak Valyrian to the dragons because that's the ancient language that has this kind of magical bond with the Targaryens and the dragons. And so you'll never really see them speaking, basic English to the dragons, or will you? Because it's not really effective on the dragons as much as the Valyrian languages. So if you start hearing them speak English to the dragons, shit's gonna go down. Just saying. The dragon looks sweet, and it's they hide a lot of these dragon scenes when they do longer scenes. They do it with a nighttime shot or a rain to make it feel more real because you don't notice the details as much, and so you kind of it's harder to pick at when you do CG in the dark or CG in the clouds or in the rain. Now they do have shots of it in the open sun, but yeah, you'll notice a lot of the times they'll put the dragons in the dark. But man, flying a dragon, man, that has to be real awful. Flying a dragon out here, no helmet, no visor. It's raining. It's probably really, really cold. Ah, man, I would not be envying him. And you got lightning. You could get struck out of the sky. That would be the most scary thing to me is lightning. Like, you're going to get bolted, my brother. Oh, no. We just heard Vhagar take off. I'm getting chills. There's going to be a crazy shot in here. Yep. Holy sh! Every time I see that, my whole body. Yeah, this is terrifying. Look at the size. Play back that laugh, too. Play back that laugh. He is a literal anime villain. This is probably the funniest. This is the funniest laugh in the show in Game of Thrones history. Probably one of the funniest laughs I've heard on TV in a while. I don't know why. It's just so hilarious to me the way Aemond is, just as a caricature almost. Let's listen to that. He's just teasing. A madman. Oh. Look at how small Aemond is compared to his dragon, man. You could make an anime out of this character. You could literally... I want the anime spinoff of Aemond, Adventures with Aemond. Somebody make it. Now, I wonder if the saddle has all the control over the dragon, or is it a combination of saddle movement and mental link? We're never really explained in the shows of how connected the dragon riders are with their dragons and how that connection plays out. It's sort of implied, but it's never described. I mean, it would be hard to explain, right? Because it's kind of a form of magic, blood magic with the Targaryens. So it's something that probably should remain vague and probably will. But something to think about. Something to think about is how does that work? The mind connection. Look at him. He's having a blast. He's just having a blast. How did they get through that cavern so nice? They're good. They're really good at flying. You guys are well practiced. To be honest, look at his. He's having like an orgasm on the back of his dragon. Look at this guy's chin. His chin could cut a watermelon, dude. He's having a blast, man. You owe a debt. And then here's where Arax messes the whole thing up. That's a big no-no right there. You don't want to spit fire into the face of a dragon who can swallow you whole. I think, to be honest, this was the breaking point for the fight. I don't know if it would have escalated, had Arax reined in his violent nature. And it's going to become clear that both of these dragon riders do not have full control, and it's just getting out of hand. See? He's like, serve me, but... Now we have him speaking English. He's lost full control. They've both lost full control of the dragons. I told you, once they start speaking English, they've totally gone off the rails, and they cannot rein in, their dragons. Now, Arax is... younger and perhaps a little more scrappy, maybe easier to control. Vhagar is a dominant, untamed beast of a dragon. Well, technically tamed, but you know what I mean. She becomes untamed in this scene. And clearly a young writer like Aemond here cannot hope to control the spirit, the vengeful spirit of the dragon, of Vhagar. Now, here's the thing that's interesting to note. I talked about the neural link, the psychic connection. Well, the dragons, I think they can kind of play and feed into the emotions of the writers. So if your writer is, let's say, an a vengeful spirit, in a violent spirit, that will kind of be imbued into the behavior of the dragon and maybe even escalated by the dragon because, you know, dragons are beasts. And if you're feeling violent, they're going to feel really violent and they're going to go for the throat. They're going to go for fire and blood. Okay? So let's see how this plays out. He's lost full control.
Serve me, Vhagar! No! Go right out, Vhagar!
And then we get the calm before the shitstorm. I love this shot. See, I do. This is like a desktop wallpaper. I do like when they do full, bright, open daylight scenes with the dragon so we can get some good looks at it. It's just they have to pay a lot more attention to the details when they go in the bright scenes like this with the dragons because they're all CGI, you know? It's kind of tough. But this is an amazing shot. And I almost thought he was going to get away here. Nope! Look at that. I feel so bad. He's like, what the hell have I done? He's almost about to cry. Look, he did not want to do that. That was not his intention. You know, I think he was being playful in a sort of semi-violent way, you know, in a really mean-spirited way. But then the dragon took his energy and ran with it. Arax attacking Vhagar combined with the fact that both Vhagar and Aemond already had sort of vengeance on their mind. It was just game over. As soon as that burst of fire hit Vhagar in the face, Vhagar was like, we're not playing around anymore, Aemond. We're going for blood. They went for fire. Well, guess what? We're going for blood. And this happened. We'll watch it back one more time. Like, he's torn to shreds, okay? He's torn to shreds by one jaw snap from Vhagar. Get that in your head, how big Vhagar is. Watch this. Chomp. That would feel so bad on both sides. Like, imagine getting chomped by a dragon. You just, and then him having to witness what he just did and realize the consequences of this action that, you know, likely wasn't all the way intended. Now, it's his fault. He pursued him on a dragon. What do you think is going to happen? It's like two kids racing in the rain in you know, high-speed cars, in sports cars. You're probably going to crash at some point if you're going too hard, and somebody might die, and somebody did. And this was not a car accident. This was a dragon versus dragon, beasts of prey fight scene. And sadly, Arax could not make it into the clear. And I like the way they do that, how they bring Arax out into the clear, literally, and we think he's in the clear. It's such a literal way of doing visual storytelling, but it still works. It still works for me, and it did catch me off guard when I was watching. I didn't really think that he was gonna go for the full chomp. You know, I'm not a book reader. I do read books, but I didn't read the Fire and Blood book, so I never saw that coming. But yeah, let's look at this final look on his face here, as he realizes I effed up. I done fooked. Yeah, look at that as a man who is regretting being an anime villain. But I bet you next season he's going to brush it off and just be like, yeah, I killed him. Let's go to war. You know, I killed him. Let's go to war. Because otherwise, there's two options. He's either going to go back and look like a little, you know, wuss and say, I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Or he can go back and he can say, yeah, I killed that idiot. Let's go to war. And I think that he's probably more inclined to say the second one and own up and just say, yeah, you know what? I killed him. He came, he insulted the Baratheons. He's a threat to the kingdom. I killed him. Let's go to war. Anyways, guys, that's House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 10, The Scene. reaction, the dragon scene reaction. Luke versus Aemond Lucerys. Team Black versus Team Green here. The first big, huge piece of the puzzle that fell in place to create the conflict in terms of, physical conflict. This is where it all crumbles into chaos and war and fire and blood and more fire and more blood. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. I love you 3000.